Welcome to a special Halloween episode of Super Enzyme Justice League. So Hollywood seems to have this obsession with the undead, or zombies. But can any of it happen in real life? Well, first, let's take a look at some of the characteristics of the average zombie. First off, zombieism, as I will now refer to it, is usually depicted in the form of a virus. This virus is transferred typically through the air or through being bitten by an infected organism. Another key characteristic of zombies is that they were dead and then returned to life, typically with their brain now being completely controlled by the aforementioned virus. The final and most notable characteristic of a zombie is that they now have the desire to consume human brains and human brains only, which seems just like super inefficient and really high in cholesterol. So first off, let me just debunk the whole zombie thing from the very beginning. Once dead and brain activity ceases, the body begins to decompose almost instantly, with the stomach of the deceased ballooning as the microbes within begin to consume the intestines, much like after a meal at Taco Bell. That said, zombies would therefore have no ability to consume human brains with no way to properly digest them. Secondly, a classical zombieism state violates the most basic laws of physics. On the hit TV show The Walking Dead, zombies have been walking the earth for nearly 2 years. Many of these zombies haven't eaten even once in these 2 years, yet they manage to keep on lumbering around, which biologically and physically just isn't possible. It also strikes me that in this post-apocalyptic world, no one has thought of sticking a zombie inside of a giant hamster wheel connected to a generator and have a non-zombie person just sit in front of the zombie, having the zombie walk toward him, spinning the wheel, generating infinite power, which could power, I don't know, like civilization or something. I mean, really, Daryl, use your head. So maybe a classic zombie can't happen, but could something vaguely zombie-like occur? Well, sure, there are several examples of things out there that already induce some zombie-like qualities in other organisms. For example, there's the super cool Toxoplasma gondii. This parasitic protozoan, which for the record is not a virus, operates in a very unique way. You see, this parasite can only breed in the intestines of cats, strange, I know, so T. gondii has developed a very interesting way of becoming transmitted. After it breeds in the intestines of a cat, the cat often ends up dying. When animals like cats die, they're typically eaten by various rodents, namely rats. When T. gondii infects rats, it creates cysts in its brain, altering the behavior of the rodent. Infected rats will seek out cats and sit in front of them until the cat kills it and eats it, thus infecting the cat and starting the process over again. All it would take is a minor mutation in the genetic code of the parasite, and humans could be infected by those same cysts, causing us to seek out death. While this obviously isn't classic zombieism, it's pretty close. Another potential zombifier is this fungus, which I won't even try to pronounce. This fungus targets ants in Thailand and Brazilian rainforests and affects ants when a spore is ingested, and as the spore makes its way to the brain of the ant becomes hostile towards other ants in their colony, often killing and attacking hundreds. After the spore has gestated in the ant's brain, it commands the ant to move upwards to the very top of a tree, at which point the spore sprouts out of its head, killing the ant and using its body as food, as is seen here on BBC.
Like something out of science fiction, the fruiting body of the Cordyceps erupts from the ant's head.
What about a virus that infects humans? Well, obviously one doesn't exist, and we don't have the technology to create one, but let's say that we did. What kind of virus would we have to create to make something close to a zombie? Well, first, this virus would need to affect the brain, specifically the ventromedial hypothalamus, which controls hunger, the amygdala, which controls emotion and memory, and the frontal cortex, which handles problem-solving, morale, and impulsive actions. These areas of the brain are all accessible from the olfactory nerve cells, which are located in your nose. That means, given the right mutations, a virus which is transmittable through the air could create hunger and aggressive behavior while removing the ability to recognize friends and family and destroying any control over actions. Sounds pretty zombie-like, right? Did you enjoy this episode? Put a like down there and subscribe to see more. Have you got a question you'd like to see answered? Put it in the comments. We'll be happy to create a video.